Hello my friends and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. We got an article here and that is full of hypocrisy. It's full of hypocrisy because if we use the same logic or lack of this article employs in making a point, and their point is if you have a community, a racial community that's is the majority in a certain area, that majority has to be represented racially, in racial terms, as elected officials. So if we have a community, let's say 95% let's say Asian, necessarily we have to have an Asian elected official over there. Or let's say if we have, I don't know, more than a half in a community, let's say Romanians in the United States as a minority, then they have to have a Romanian representative. If they don't, then we can call it xenophobia or whatever we want to call it. That's how the story goes in this country here. So if you have, let's say, a community and 51% are little people, that used to call them midgets or dwarfs, now they should have a representative of their kind, because they all think the same, and they know exactly what they feel. That's a very stupid way of looking at things. So I'm wanting to therefore, if you have, let's say, in a country, I don't know, 70% white, there should be 70% white people, representatives, elected officials. Why? I don't know, but the whites can't do that because they are evil. So this article comes from Associated Press via Market Watch, published on August 4th, 2022. And this is the title: Detroit, more than 3/4 black in the last census, may soon be without black representation in Congress. Detroit members of Congress have been very important and active in things like the Congressional Black Caucus and very visible black leaders in the country's observes University of Michigan political science, University of Michigan political scientist, and his name is Ken. Let me see, where are you, Mr. Ken? Ken Coleman, not Cosman, Coleman. Close, So this Coleman, who I'm assuming is one of those guys, he's crying that since Detroit, which is a bad city, since it's 3/4 African American or black, naturally it should be represented by somehow a person of that race, because why? Well, he makes this point, and his liberal friends make this point as a given. That's the way it should be, only when we talk about certain groups, not all the groups, not all groups, no, just certain groups. And then the same people, are very much in support of, let's say, Volodymyr Zelensky. So Volodymyr Zelensky being the president of, elected president of Ukraine, of Ukrainians. Now he's a Jew. Now you can say whatever you want, but a Jew is not a Ukrainian. However you want to take it. A Jew is not a Romanian, as a Romanian is not a Jew. As you know, to be a Jew, you don't have to just say, I'm a follower of the Judaic religion. No, that's why they fool you here. But we know, but if we read the Talmud, which not many read, they tell you exactly what it means to be a Jew. You have to be from a Jewish mom, and they're a special race. That's what they say in the Talmud. I'm not saying that. I'm just telling you what they say. You're just 2 clicks away if you want to find out what they say about themselves. So nevertheless, we'll go back. So Volodymyr Zelensky, he's a Jew in a Ukrainian of Ukrainians. He's the president. Nothing wrong with that. Zhmihal is the prime minister of Ukraine. He's a Jew. He's nothing wrong with that. I'm suspecting that the Minister of Defense, Oleksiy, I can't remember his last name right now, he's also a Zelensky. Nothing wrong with that. Everybody's happy about it, and nobody points out the obvious. Hey, how come in a country of Ukrainian tribe, that's a guy from a different tribe, that's a fact, who's the leader? And you would say, hey, Emil, this is democracy, and it's how people think. It doesn't matter what tribe you belong to, and if you're Jewish or if you're Romanian in Ukraine, if you come with the right ideas and people vote for you, you should be elected. I'm all for it. Yes, I'm all for it. If a fat, blind, ugly midget with no balls has the right ideas and is intelligent and courageous and so on, I'll vote for that person, against a dumb, well-built, muscular, Rita, whatever color, tall guy. Okay? I don't care. So there's certain qualifications you need to have in order to lead. If that person check marks them, I don't care if that person is, let's say I'm a Romanian and there will be a Hungarian. I'll vote for that person. And why did I give this example? Because my Romanian and Hungarian friends will understand exactly what I meant. So, but it seems to be a problem in Detroit. In Detroit, they elected actually an Indian guy. Not a black guy, an Indian guy from India. And there's a little problem because the Indian somehow doesn't understand the issues of the black community. Well, if we go by that, how can we elect a black guy in a white community, because that person would not be able to understand the white community? If we use the same illogic, then how can we, for instance, elect a woman in a place where a man, because she's not a man, she would not understand what the man wants, and so on. So you see how that goes? If we go by these kind of groups and not by ideas and knowledge and character, regardless of who you are, then we're in big trouble. Because if I look at, let's say, US Congress, this is where they want to get to. All right, let's see. In the United States right now, the African American minority is about what? Still 12-13%. Okay. I think the Latino community is about, I don't know, is more than African American, about 20, let's say. 23, I think. And the whites are the rest. Okay, so that means it should be proportionate. That's how it should be. Okay, but we divide it in three. Then we have Asians, then we have Jews, and Jews, remembers, are 1.8% of the United States population or so, and they have about 10 senators from 100, so that's 10%. So they're overrepresented. What are we going to do with those 8 Jews that are in the U.S. Senate? We're going to kick them out because they're overrepresented? No, because they're a special minority, right? Then what do we do? Because we don't have enough midgets or small people, little people in Congress. Are we going to kick a normal considered individual and we're going to put a midget, a small person? Okay. Then we're going to make a proportion based on eye color. And we're going to divide the Congress based on eye color. And then we're going to divide it on size. And then we're going to divide it on dick size, ball size, breast size, pussy depth, and so on. We're going to do that? How far do we go with this stupidity? We're going to go with the arm's length? With what? With the arm span? And we're going to divide it and we're going to make it. You see how many variables we can create out of how many kind of groups we are? And then we can go with the sexual orientation. We can go with all kind, with the color. I like color black. That's my favorite color. Someone else has a green color. We're going to make all this. We're going to make some statistics, and we're going to divide it, and we're going to elect people based on the preference of the color. Or I don't know, all kind of stupid stuff. Well, the thing is, I want someone over there who has the ideas of improving my life and protecting my rights. That's what I need. I don't care if that person is, I don't know, has 50 wives and he's a homosexual, or he's, I don't know, transgender. I don't care. As long as that person doesn't make that kind of value his important pinnacle of his position. You're over there to defend the Constitution, uphold the Constitution, uphold my rights, and defend me from outside external threats. All right? That's all you need to do. I don't care who you are. You can be Hungarian, you can be midget, you can be transgender, you can be fat, you can be whatever, blind. I don't care. But these guys are crying because that's 3/4 black, Detroit, and they're going to have an Indian. Now, let me break the news to you. In Romania, which is about 20 million, it used to be more, 23 million, now people have migrated like me, and the diaspora is about 5 million or so of Romanians. So it's about 19 million right now, Romania. They have a German president. German. So how many Germans are in Romania right now? Not even I would say, I don't think it's 1% German, 2%. How come? They're overrepresented. They have 100% in the presidency. So as a Romanian, right, as a Romanian, let's say a Romanian from Romania, what should they say? Take Romania as Detroit. And let's say Romanians are 80% Romanians in Romania. There are some Hungarians, some Gypsies, some Hungarians, and some, as I said, Germans, Tatars and Turks and all that. So the Romanians should be obviously, under these rules as the Detroit, be represented by a Romanian, but not represented by a German guy. Why? What's going on here, guys? So nobody said anything about Klaus Iohannis, the president of Romania, who's Saxon, German. Nobody said anything about Volodymyr Zelensky, who's a Jew. He's not Ukrainian, he's Jew. Nothing wrong with that. He's smart, whatever he does, he got elected, he did this, no problem. And I can have many examples like that. I can have, for instance, Stalin. Stalin was not a Russian. Well, he was the Secretary General of the Soviet Union. He was not a president, but he was the leader. He was not a Russian. So he was a Gruzian, he was a Georgian, for instance. And we can go on and on and on and find who's who, what's what. Does that matter? As long as you don't show discrimination against certain groups, you're over there to help all of us, the nation, whoever is in this nation. So the thing with Detroit, if I take Mr. Coleman, or whatever his name is, Ken Coleman from the University of Michigan, he's a very PhD, remember? And I asked him, what do you think about Zelensky? Should it be just taken and kicked out because he's a Jew in Ukraine? Or how about Klaus Iohannis? He's a German, he's the president of Romanians. Should he be just kicked out? What do you think he's going to say? I tell you exactly what he's going to say. No, the will of the people. If he got voted on the office, what's your problem? I didn't bother to read to you the article where this Ken Coleman, or whatever his name is, talks about. He's a PhD, as I said, he's a professor, scientist, blah, 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 blah. Let me take my violin, play a little bit of Paganini, and then let him go, okay? Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.